You. What am I using these for? Are now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of, wait for it, there's been too much pain, too much suffering, leave the gas, walk away, KNUCKLE! Woo! Oh, I'm dizzy. See, if I was doing that in the car, I'd pass out. I'm actually going to go back to doing it in the car. I got a trick. Coming up for the car thing. But right now, I'm doing it from the studio. Don't you like how every time like I pull a camera back on the studio shot, you have to write me stuff like, "Hey, Eugene, was that a stripper pole in the background? Or is that a Walther PPK? Hey, do you have a machete?" And you know, I always answer the same way. Yes. Yes. That's it. No explanation. Anyway, this is round number 332. I am your host, Eugene S. Robinson. As P.D. Welsh, who was one of the corner guys, usually says, Eugene S. Eugene S. Yeah, I'm back with you, baby. Round 332 on the occasion of UFC Fight Night 81. It's knuckle up, but let the music that says it all say it all. I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face. Of being paid back in full, always nothing. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to do a James Hetfield. A James Hetfield is a pointless and purposeless. Yeah. Yeah. You have no occasion in life to be, you bust a nut. You go, yeah. You do that, and that'll be the last time you do it with whoever you're doing it with. Yeah! I can't think of what to sing next, so I'll go, yeah! I got no lyrics in here, yeah! I know you drinking half a bottle of Jack Daniels, you don't know the difference anyway, yeah, Minneapolis! I actually sort of did that, I'm sorry. So this is a special night because not only did I do the 6th round, and then on the way out of the 6th round, dropped the mic so completely thoroughly that I fucked up the show. You know, I see a button, man. You know, I'm an inveterate button pusher. I've been ever since I was a kid. I would say stuff like, "Hey, Grandma, what does that button do?" And she goes, "I don't know, just leave it alone." And I was like, That response happens to be unsatisfactory. Bing! And the whole escalator would stop and people would be pissed off and angry. I go, what? Come on. Everybody wanted to know what that button did. I'm the reason they created the plastic clothes plate over it. And it wasn't always to my benefit. As a kid too, I remember, I wonder if I could, in the car, in a bicycle seat on the back of my mother's bike, I said, hey, I wonder if I could stop this bike. I knew like if you guys would steal bikes by throwing broomsticks through your spokes. I said, hey, I wonder, based on that theory, if I stuck my foot through the spokes, if I could stop the bike. Yeah, baby. Or having a walkie-talkie and looking at an open socket and going, I bet you I could juice up the power of my walkie-talkie by sticking it in that light socket. It would double the electricity. Yeah. I'm from Missouri. Actually, I'm not from Missouri. The show me state. Anyway, I'm a native New Yorker. You guys know that. Anyway, this is round number 332 on the occasion of UFC Fight Night. Dillashaw, Cruz. I am your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Have no idea what the S stands for tonight. I haven't thought of it yet. I'll think of it when we write the intro. But it's UFC Fight Night 81, Dillashaw and Cruz. Welcome to the show. I see, you know what's funny? I'll tell you what's funny. I can see right now we got like 21 viewers. I actually just did the 6th round and was shocked and appalled to discover we had like 274 live viewers in. Is it because people expect Knuckle Up on Monday, so they don't even think of listening to the Sunday thing? That's got to be it, right? Isn't that it? Yeah, I feel like the opposite of Sally Fields. You don't like me. You really don't like me, which is just fine. Anyway, it's like the Gnostics, Gnostic. Not everything's for everybody. That's the God's awful truth. Anyway, UFC Fight Night. And as usual, I'm going to start at the top and go down because things get kind of fumey as you get down to the bottom. There were a lot of don't cares on the card. If you watch Care Don't Care this week, we had a kind of annotated week because Kid Nate was in New York City meeting with the overlords, the box overlords, and he was, he ignored all my sage advice, which is essentially anytime you have a job interview, you got to get in there and you got to point because they know that a man that points means business. See, and another thing, and then also they also respect generosity of spirit. So you bring some beer, maybe some 40 ounces for everybody that you're meeting with. It's a civilized thing to do. I mean, and they're, 40 ounces about the size of a bottle of wine. It's the same thing. You just put it and you start pointing and they know you mean business. And if you talk louder, they will understand what you mean better. But, I felt basically sort of uncomfortable on the sixth round because, these guys, they're always stepping on my filthy sex stories and my Nazi tales and, something about propriety and family show. Family? No family is watching this show. Hey, tell me something. You look to the left of you and you look to the right of you and tell me if you see your mother. Don't worry. She's right here. Okay, sorry. Let's get to the fight game. Now, this was great. What I said, and I called my shot from far out, if you were paying attention to Knuckle Up last week, what I said was that I watched them, and I usually don't like to make picks this way, which means I always make picks this way. I kind of do my mumbo jumbo. I put my finger in the air and I test the breeze, and I'm taking a real good look at their faces. And that press conference where Dominic Cruz said to TJ Dillashaw, "I'm right in front of you, dummy." Woo! I told a woman I was in a relationship with, I said, she said, "Oh, I had a boyfriend that would call me a bitch." I said, "Man, I don't do this. I'm a very polite guy." I said, the worst curse that I ever hurl at another human being, because I mean it deeply, philosophically, and thoroughly, if I'm calling you stupid, you know that you are now standing at the bottom of a hole that you will never smart your way out of. And typically the sentence hits like this: "How could you be so stupid?" You're done. I don't have a straight shot. I don't have a straight shot. I don't have visual ID. As soon as I do, it gets fired. This is the deaf cat that's yowling. Sorry. Here, I got something. Scare him out of there. That didn't work. Anyway, I'm getting so when Cruz crawled into his head, there's that little bastard. And so when Cruz, the poster didn't fall. When Cruz crawls in front of his head, and what was most damaging and most damning about it, and most of us maintain the veer of politeness and decency, I mean, think about the last time you met somebody you hated. You say, "Well, Eugene, I don't really hate anybody." Think about the last time you met somebody you disliked. You probably observed certain social niceties. Why? This is not a person who was in a position of power, maybe necessarily. I mean, think of the last time you were getting groceries and the checkout person was rude to you. You're just kind of like, look, I want to keep the peace. I want to go along to get along. I don't want any trouble. But it seems like anybody, if you're anybody and have any specific job, that what you could do is do what Dominic Cruz did. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember a friend of mine we were at a nightclub, and, you know, they have these, it may have been Studio 54. You know, they had these black cubes on the floor in front of the cushiony chairs you put your drinks on. And me and a buddy are walking through, and he stumbles on it. Doesn't see it. It's black cube. It's a black club. Lights are flashing. And some coked up woman is sitting there, and she starts laughing at him. And he looks at her and he goes, you know, people like you spend their whole entire lives doing stuff like that. And it was a really sobering moment because he spoke the truth. And more importantly, I mean, you know, Dominic Cruz spoke his version of the truth, but what was most telling about it is that there was no social nicety, especially for a guy who's kind of transmogrified into you know, talking head, you know, a host, a guy with a microphone in the suit. He was telling the God's honest truth as he saw it. And that could be hard, man. I remember having a girlfriend. She had a diary, and I jokingly said, hey, let me read your diary. I would never read it without me asking. And she goes, sure, right? And so I grabbed the diary. Well, of course, she was Swedish and wrote her entire diary in Swedish. I was like, you think you got me? So I just go through, and here's my name. What does it say? This is before I even spoke German. So that I was completely taking her word. All I could see was my name. And she said, well, it says there that I think you're a selfish lover. Oh, shit. People are like telling the God's honest truth. I mean, she could have told me anything. I didn't read Swedish. She could have told me anything. This is when I was 20, okay? I got excited. It was when I was 20 years old. And, you know, and I looked in her eyes to see. I didn't have to look too hard to know. It was a God. Hey, you couldn't handle the truth. The truth, you know, look, let's dispense with the idea, the platonic idea of truth. Let's just get rid of it. We all prefer honesty. We don't really give a fuck about truth. We couldn't handle truth from our mothers. Much less truth from a guy who's sitting across on a high stool wanting to punch our faces out. You know? Much less that. So when he looks at TJ and says, my moves, you're copying my stuff. And then, I mean, this is like sexual dysfunction where you go, I hope I can get it up. I hope I can get it up. Can I get it? Can I get, oh God, what if I can't get it up? I can't get it up. Oh God. Tell everybody, okay, calm down. And then, you know, you kind of make it out and you think, okay, what about, okay, I got it up. No, she says, give me to use a condom. Oh no, what if I can't get up? Where's the condom? But did you get the condom on? Okay, I got the condom on. I got it on. Okay. All right. Okay. I got to get in. I got it. Whoa, this feels good. This feels really good. Oh, it feels too good. No, I got to think about baseball scores. You know, it's a snowballing series of things. The first time you could see it, the first time TJ, I'm calling him DJ. First time TJ Dillashaw, what does TJ stand for anyway? Timothy Jr.? The first time he encountered some sort of, not so much, you know, an aggressive sally, but when he encountered the first super effective defensive, you know, think of Anderson Silva and Forrest Griffin. The first kind of, you could see he was gone, man. Not heavily gone, but gone on that roller coaster ride of negative feedback. And you know, on the sixth round, you know, kid Nate and Zane, Yeah, Zane complained about how that's actually become a meme where everybody's like, Zane, yeah. Yeah, no. Zane is he gained some weight. He's been lifting weights. He got some more tattoos. He's trying to butch it up. Yeah, that's like, yeah. Hey, look, you know, hey, man, hey, when I was a kid, they used to sing that song after me. Jean, Jean, you're so young and alive. You know, kind of trying to feminize you, which made me so angry that to this day, yeah, only few people on the planet can call me Jean. Pretty much direct my sisters and my mother, and a few people from my freshman dorm, because they said, do you have any nicknames? When I'm filling out all these forms to get to Stanford, I was just like, yeah, Gene. Now I show up, everybody's calling me Gene. Don't call me that. In any case, you can see come the fourth round, Dillashaw goes, shh, he's deaf. That's not gonna work. Oh, this watch. I'll beat him with this watch. So you can see it. Right, the final time he gets to the fourth round, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm losing this bitch. I am losing it. Ah, God, I gotta, you know." And this is, you know, he pours it on. He's being liberal with the math. He goes, okay, maybe I won this one, maybe I won that one, maybe he's with the scoring. I mean, I tell you right now how I'm scoring it. I'm going into round one. I'm calling it for Cruz, 10-9. You ask me, okay, what about round two? All Cruz, 10-9. Excuse me, I'm dying. I had some miso soup. It was delicious. Round three, I know I'm calling it 10-9 for Cruz as well. You're the only round that I'm giving to Dillashaw straight up. Well, I'm giving him 4 and 5. I'm willing to give him 4 or 5. I'm willing to give him the oh shit rounds. The oh shit rounds. But you know what? 2 oh shit rounds. And people, some of you are texting me saying, oh, well, if it had gone to 6 rounds. Yeah, if. Wasn't that great story from Carthage when they said, you know, if we come over there, we'll just smash you. And they expected a reply back, I think, from the Spartans. And they open up the letter. It's got one word on it. If. if there was a 6th round, if there was a 6th round, man, if I had wings, I might be an eagle, but I don't have wings. And so, you know, the best part, there were 2 best parts post facto. Split decision for Cruz. The 2 best parts were to watch TJ Dillashaw like blink against the blinding light of failure and try to explain it to himself as he tried to explain it to us. And he sends a good, oh, baby, I'll be home soon. Really? There's going to be a cold, dark wind blowing through your place, Jack. America, they say they love a winner. They don't really love a winner, but they really hate a loser. Yeah, well, we got to do a rematch. We got, you know what Cruz is gonna say. I guess it makes sense to do a rematch when he shows me something that indicates that he's improved. Until that time that he shows us something that he's improved, which means fighting other people in the division who are very, very tough, we don't really have any business to talk about. He doesn't respect you. There's no reason why he should. If I walk outside and pass the milkman on the street, there is no reason for me to respect him. Whether he's a milkman, there's no reason for me, of course, to disrespect him. You should close that door so that it doesn't turn the smoke alarm on. Darling? Yes. So I don't actively disrespect the milkman, but I don't have to respect him because he is a milkman. I don't need to fight you again. I'm going to fight you again. Go off and show me something. In other words, go out, Mr. Marcus, the patient 0 with the syphilis case, the LA porn guy, he's a good friend of mine. He said guys always hit him up, man, I want to be in porno movies. Man, I want to be in porno. Hey, porno. And he would say, yeah, come on by the house, swing by. Oh, yeah. He goes, don't come along. He goes, what do you mean? What do you do? He goes, don't come along. I'm not even letting you in if you come along. I mean, Mr. Marcus, porn star, patient zero in the syphilis thing, had to establish right away, that if you're coming by expecting something free, the only way you're getting it is if you give something. Which is like, I'll give you as much free stuff as you want as long as you bring me free stuff. In other words, like Auntie M said, or Tina Turner's character in Thunderdome, it's barter time. You come to barter. So TJ is in the wilderness, not Lost Battalion, not Phantom Toll Booth, but he's in a really weird place, just Major Tom. It's kind of Major Tom in it. He's Major Tom in it. He's floating around out in space. That was my tribute to David Bowie. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. He crawled into his head. He rearranged the furniture. He creepy crawled T.J. Dillashaw, like the Manson family used to crawl in, and I got to straighten my leg, I'm going to go crazy. Used to crawl in and rearrange your furniture. You come back and was like, hey, wasn't that chair over there? How'd it get there? He wanted to create kind of a dis-ease, not disease, a dis-ease. I don't know. I picked Cruz. I'm happy to see things go the way they're right. And you were talking about my two favorite parts. One favorite part was Cruz saying, Uriah Faber. Oh, he had two parts. Though I don't like him. Setting himself up down the road. And then he said, oh, by the way, Kenny Florian, stop stealing other people's stuff. Oh, man. It's like, you know what? I realized why I didn't like him before. I didn't like Dominic Cruz. Yeah, it's a boring. It wasn't so much the boring fight. It was a pablum presentation. And now I know why I like him so much now. Because he's a mean guy. And I don't like him just because he's mean, but he's mean and truthful. He's in that Mike Tyson space. What are you going to do? Oh, my God. I'd love to, what I would give to live in the space of 360-degree truthfulness. I'm largely there anyway, because nobody expects me to say anything I don't believe anyway. But, I got to work. Eugene, what did you think of that story? It was great. I loved it. It was better than Cats. I'll read it again and again. Yeah, okay. These things that we have to grease the skids with. Going back, okay, if you watch the 6th round, Pettis and Alvarez, you also know that I picked Pettis. And I picked Pettis because Alvarez has underwhelmed me. I liked him on Bully Beatdown. But since then, I thought the misstep with the contract negotiation, he underwhelmed me. But even more than being underwhelmed, I was overwhelmed by the golden boying of Anthony Pettis. Yes, that kick was fantabulous. But the Wheaties box, the golden boy, the nightclub, the expensive suits. Yeah, that's right. I'm hating. But I couldn't say it. Because, I'm trying to be a better person. Trying. But people have been watching tape, and that's the thing. They're just going to watch tape, and we're all superstitious, especially fighters. If I know a guy who's been injured, I won't touch him. If I see my old coach and I'm at a competition, I won't touch him before I've won. He's got bad juju. No, he's a good guy, but I just get paranoid, So Pettis, his brother, you open the door to loss, and right away you're in that negative feedback cycle. Like, well, what if I can't get it up, and then things happen, and yeah, okay. Eddie Alvarez watched what Gil Melendez did. Gil Melendez was back off of suspension soon, and shit happens, man. Shit happens. It's not just, you know what? It's not a bodybuilding show. You don't get to come out and singly show, or it's not like a karate belt test. Okay, show me the fourth kata, and you get to do it, and the black belt sit around and go, nice, nice, and then you get your belt. No, you're actually in it with somebody who is trying to deprive you of the same. Alvarez had to have the win. You had to have it too. But given that he was like on that Jake Shields train of like somebody who drove hard negotiations getting in, and then once in, Mirko Cro Cop, Jake Shields didn't really produce. Alvarez had to have this. Pettis had to have it too. Alvarez had to have it more. Pettis wanted it. Alvarez needed it. And that's what you saw right there was the difference, baby, between have and need. Now, Pettis is not Lost Battalion. He's not even Phantom Tollbooth, but he's Major Tom in it. He's floating around in space. Still a top flight item. They show that kick. They put him higher up on the card. Still somebody you want to see. But when? Don't know. Matt Mitrione. Travis Brown. This was a weird one because I'm sitting there sticking my finger in the air, you know, and I can't really figure out what's going on. Let's see, you know, I'm doing the Princess Bride thing. All right, stick with me. Travis Brown, allegedly wife beating, allegedly unfaithful to his wife, leaving her with allegedly with children, allegedly to take off with Honda Housey, who he holds a press conference, and then now they get put on Front Street, where the guy taking photos of his daughter at like the Hungry Hunter or the Claim Jumper or Red Lobster, wherever they were eating. And he holds his press conference and announces this is not, we're not dating. This is it. This is the love of, this is my angel baby. And guys are coming, oh, it's a bad PR move. I don't live my life by PR moves. I love this woman. We love each other. The guys are talking smack and, you know, what do you, and then she loses, and then she's got the broken jaw, allegedly, and then, you know, so I'm trying to think, I mean, is the bald one trying to hustle him off the stage? And, you know, I got mixed feelings about this looking for a fight thing because I love Nick the Tooth. I love me some Nick the Tooth. But Nick the Tooth has got to eat. So the bald one comes to Nick the Tooth and says, hey, I got a great idea, Nick. Yeah, what, man? Hey, we should do a show. Great. You mean you produce something and I'm in it? No. We'll be in the show together. We'll just film like all of our, you know, we just... Yeah, man, I guess that's, well, how much? Okay. First paycheck comes, Nick the Tooth is like, hot diggity dog, all right. I'm glad to do it. Looking for a fight. I'm in. 100%, boss. So I can't figure out, is it good for the bald one to hustle Brown off the stage? Or is this a non-factor since now a Honda has been pulled out of UFC 200? If she's a non-factor until 2017, her jaw's got to heal, the lip, she's probably training, but as much as she's training, she's also watching. Every time you fight, you open the door a little bit into the skill set. And that's why they trolled us really badly, Holly Holm, having her willing to take the chance that she would eke out a win in her prior fights and not show anything significant. The hopes that we could just troll it. And they said that. I'm not making this up. Because the one that fought Honda was not the one we saw from the previous two fights. No. There should actually be a gaming investigation into that because we were gamed. So I can't figure out, but it doesn't matter because as much as they might have had a PR nightmare because of Travis Brown, They're actually having open antagonism with Matt Mitrione. And so, you know, this could have, Matt Mitrione was looking for a win before, you know, shuffling off to Buffalo, or in this case, Bellator. Didn't get it. Not only did he not get it, but he's got an eye that, as we speak, before I even started the show, was making the memes. Hey, man, it's a fight game. It happens. At least people are talking about you. Is he Phantom Toll Booth, or he's a Lost Battalion? No. He's still a credible middleweight with a name, good athlete. He's talks a bit of good smack. People like to see him. Yeah, you know, he's a Wes Sims. Doesn't always have to win. You still like him. You'd pay attention. Would you pay? I don't know. And then we get into the Dusty Fumey sections of the card. And the Dusty Fumey sections of the card, thank you, are down by Trinaldo and my leg, it's killing me. Trinaldo against Ross Pearson. And so now, if you're keeping track, I picked Pettis, he lost. I picked Mitrione, he lost. And I also picked Pearson, and he lost. So I'm down. I'm underwater. I'm underwater on these picks. And like I said, on the 6th round, I'm watching this fight, and I'm thinking, God damn it, why am I watching this fight? Ross Pearson. Because I forgot that Ross Pearson has a clock at his house. I really forgot that Ross Pearson has a clock at his house that doesn't go backwards. In fact, his clock goes forwards. And in the last time, in the 8 months or 9 months since I've seen Ross Pearson he's degenerating at a cellular level, like the anti-Wolverine. No different from any of us. But it's what he's doing. You know, it's what he's doing. And he comes out, and, you know, like we were talking about when we were talking about scaling up and scaling, he's at a vantage point where if he looks around him, say, hey, mate, what is that mountain over there? Oh, Mr. Pearson, that was your peak. No, mate. My peak is somewhere in front of me. It's like Jews and Jesus. Jesus says, I'm the Messiah. And the Jews at the time are like, yeah, you know what? No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And people are all outraged. I know people who are anti-Semites in places where Jews don't exist. You know, anti-Semites in places where Jews don't exist. How? Well, they pick up the Bible. Yeah, you know. However, if I walk out this door right now and I start telling people that I'm Jesus, not Jesus, Jesus, the Son of God, you know, I'd be lucky to not meet the same fate, but they're going to believe this guy 2,000 years ago. This is not Judaism apologia. I'm just telling you. It may happen that thing in front of you, I mean, in essence, what they say, the Messiah hasn't come. This is Judaism, Christianity. Judaism says the Messiah hasn't come. Christianity says, oh, yes, he did. That's it. Ross Pearson on the mountaintop. Do you see your peak behind you, or is it in front of you? And this qualifies him as Lost Battalion almost. Right now, I feel comfortable with him as a gifter. Guy I can't trust anymore. But if he sees his peak in front of him, he's crazy. So I'm done picking Ross Pearson. And I have to tell you, Francisco Trinaldo was a disappointment. So, you know, if there was possible for two guys to thrust themselves from care to don't care, they certainly did it. Patrick Cote, Ben Saunders. I was tricked by Kid Nate into picking Ben Saunders because he's a brother in arms. He's a member of the Fourth Estate. He's a bloody elbow contributor. Patrick Cote, I always remember as a guy who fucked his knee up against Anderson Silva. I went crazy and picked it. Now, if you're going backwards on the card, you realize I am so far underwater that under normal circumstances, I would be depressed now. I got one right, and I got 1, 2, 3 wrong. 4 wrong. 1 to 4. Tim Boach, Ed Herman. Yes, I picked Ed Herman. So now it's 2. It's 4 to 2. Do I have anything to say about that fight? Fuck no! Tim Boach and Ed Herman? Come on. Come on, you know? We always knew you would fail, but never quite so spectacularly. Chris Wade and Mehdi Baghdad? Yeah, whatever, man. I like Mehdi Baghdad's name. I'm glad I didn't care about this fight because I guarantee if I had, I would have picked Mehdi Baghdad because he got such a great name. Submit it. Maximo Blanco, Luke Saunders. You know, Kid Nate and I, we said we always knew that he would fail, but never quite so spectacularly. About Blanco, we said we don't know what's going to happen, but something violent will happen. Yeah, something violent will happen. It was that he got rear naked, choked into the fucking, L column. Loss. We didn't care about that fight. Didn't make any picks on that fight. So, okay. So I'm still 4-2. And picked Paul Felder against Cruz. He was about to get raped again, realized it, and he said, I knew it was coming. 356, the third round, sunk a choke in. Cruzshank was like Cruzshank. Somebody was texting me during it and said, he's got the injuries and the neck problem okay. Okay. Injuries and the neck problem. I don't know. Cruzshank looked like Cruzshank to me. Paul Felder, I love that guy. Dug down deep. The Irish Dragon. Even though Felder seems to be a Hebraic last name, whatever. He could be an Irish member of the tribe. Love that guy. He moved from don't care to care. Love him. Okay. Oh, so now we're 4-3, right? You're doing the math. And I picked Latifi over Sean O'Connell. I love Sean O'Connell, but I just knew that Sean O'Connell wasn't going to be spending too much time on the ground. I knew very specifically he wouldn't spend any time on the ground, which means he's opening himself up for exactly what he got. And there were a couple of guys who got the fight. I don't think there was a single bad stoppage on the card, even though they won with Herb Dean. I was counting to see if he let the guy get punched more times than he let Chad Mendes get punched, and he didn't. And I said, does that feel bad or weird? It was almost like he let the guy got pasted, and he stopped it. And I look at the guy and see if the guy is protesting. I go, that guy's crazy. He wasn't getting up from there. So, maybe it's time Mr. Sexy and Sophisticated Herb Dean, I should cut him some slack somehow. But I did pick Latifi. That was 30 seconds in. Oh, boy, man. Sean O'Connell, I feel, and I could see, I got hit like that once. And it's infuriating because it was like right here behind the ear, and you get dizzy. What he should have done, and what I did at the time was, do that Beetle breakdance spin thing, like I was playing jiu-jitsu. Motherfucker, if that guy had stepped back and gestured for me to stand up, there's no way I could have stood up. It was terrible. And the vertigo for 2 days after, terrible. But now we're back. We're back in play. Where? Let's go down the list again. One on the yes side. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the yeah. So what? So now it's 4-2. 4-2. 4-3. 4-4. Latifi makes it 4-4. So I'm at 500 now. So I'm cooking, and I didn't pick Rosa or I did when they walked out. Bochniak. I picked it for Bochniak, and of course Bochniak lost. So it's good that I didn't. I thought he got jobbed, but I didn't make a pick. Rob Font and Joey Gomez. Unofficially, I picked Rob Font. He won, but it doesn't contribute to my count. I'm at 4-4. Barossa and Mutapchik, I didn't pick either. So I end this night at 4-4. Not a bad night. You know what? If I came home with a 50 on a test, 50 out of 100 on a test, I would have been kicked down the basement stairs by my mother. You know, if I came home with an A minus, my mother would look at my report card and go, "What is this shit?" and throw it on the ground, step on it, walk over it. Yeah, tells you a little something, huh? Tells you a little bit of something about why I am the way I am. Huh? Yeah, I want to read you something. I want to read you something. I want to read you something. It's from my daughter, my oldest daughter. And I really like to share this with you. She is no longer speaking to me. She goes, "This relationship is over for the time being. Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't be in the same room as me. When you choose to have kids, you accepted the fact that they would grow into human people. Every stripper, every pedophile, every janitor, and every 16-year-old mom had parents. That's a risk you took. Failing doesn't emulate the kid's poor choices. Failure as a parent is how you handled it. It is not my fault you were stubborn and controlling and easy to cut people off. You don't need to tell anyone for civility reasons, but I don't want to even be in your presence or hear from you in any way, shape, or form for a while. The ripple effect of what you did is awful. Besides the blood and the swollen, bloody face her I'm guessing ex-boyfriend has, and the sheets that are covered in blood, and the fact that you cost me my job, you hurt me greatly. I can't believe you are the kind of human being who does that. I know this goes both ways, but I'm consistently ashamed of the person you are and the person I'm learning you to be. Please do not reply to this text and delete me from your phone. Don't text me on my birthday. I don't wish to see you. Don't buy me anything. I want nothing you have to offer me. I calmly wrote this, and I meant everything I said, very clear and concise. This is what I want now. I'm sorry, but you don't know me at all." You know what that was written on the occasion of? She's on vacation from college, staying at the family house. And I said, "Well, you can stay with me, but you can't stay at the family house alone." She goes, "Well, I'm going to go back up to college, which is about an hour from where we're sitting right now." And I go, "You're going to be there?" And I was like, "All right." As I'm coming home last night, I decided to just swing by the house. And I find her and her ex-boyfriend in her mother's bed smoking weed. I said, "Get your shit, get the fuck out of here." Get out. I go back. I want to drill a door shut. I'm reduced to this. I say, "You know what? This is ridiculous. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to get some sleep." I come back to my house, sleep. The house is about 3/4 of a mile away. I get up early, go back. I find them in the same fucking bed. That means after 1 o'clock in the morning, they had to sneak back in the same bed, sleeping. I sit down on the bed, and I pull their eyes up like this. They can't, you know, of course they're high. Finally, I wake up. I say, "That's it. You're out. You live at college. You don't live here anymore. Out, 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 out. Smoke weed at college." Now, you might think that I beat the boyfriend up. I didn't beat the boyfriend up. The boyfriend's father, who I notified, I can't have your son smoke weed in my ex-wife's bedroom. My ex-wife wasn't there. Can't have it. So he disciplined his son in a way that I probably should have disciplined my daughter. I've never hit my kids at all. So this is what I'm dealing with today. And I guarantee no one, not a single, I've almost burned the house down on 2 occasions. I've had shotgun accidents that I blew apart my bedroom door as a kid growing up. But I never, ever, ever thought it was a good idea to bring my ex onto my mother's bed and smoke a bunch of weed just because. 19 years old or not, didn't do it. That's what hotels and motels are for. I bring this up for a very specific reason, having everything to do with MMA, because you followed my relationship with my daughters, and they're all fighters. Boyfriend's a fighter. Boyfriend's father is a fighter. He was actually a UFC fighter. That it is impossible for her to conceive of that there was a causal connection between bad things that happened and her role in the bad things that happened happening. There's no causal connection. It's mind-blowing to me personally. But every night there's a fight, guys climb in the cage, and they leave that cage. One or two of those guys leave that cage disappointed, and they can't figure out why. They haven't been able to make the causal connection between everything and them leaving that cage sad. I mean, and keep in mind, fundamentally, there is no real difference, you know, and I'm talking deep philosophy here. You take somebody like a Latifi. Latifi was very happy he won. Could anybody listening to me now text me right now and tell me what Latifi won? It's not even clear the way the pay structure goes in the UFC. It's not even clear that Latifi will make more money for this fight. I don't have the figures in front of me yet. That he will make more money for this fight than the guy he beat. What did Latifi win? Well, he won the fight. And? Well, he won the right. Come on. Come on. Let's be Dominic Cruz about this. Let's tell some fucking truths. Does Latifi have a magic clock at home? He does not. If Latifi is standing up on a mountain and he's looking, is his peak there or is it there? Is it behind him or is it in front of him? Forget about this, just from the career notion. Latifi, who I picked to win, who I like very much as a fighter, if he wins, what does he want? How long has he forestalled opening up a gym or going back to work as a personal trainer? And where's Shane Carwin? What's he doing now? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I am once again confirmed in the belief that this is probably one of the harder jobs in America, in ways that if I think about it too deeply, it'll ruin my enjoyment of the sport, because I know what's involved and I love the sacrifice that's made. And when I see, Hoist coming up against Ken Shamrock, and I'm not feeling so good, even with the tax thing that Hoist has got going. It's like, Jesus Christ, Hoist has got that kind of cash rolling around. Well, I guess he deserves it. But, you got to pay taxes. This is how America keeps from being Brazil. You pay taxes in America, buddy. You and Wesley Snipes, no. So it's a naked lunch moment. If you look at the stuff on the end of your fork a little too closely, you're going to get sad. You're going to get the sads, like Kid Not Dave says. But don't. Tonight, fresh off of the 6th round, as I did my Bob Hope, I walked in. Kid Nate said that you don't know who Bob Hope is. He said you guys are, he didn't say so much that you're stupid, but that you're young. You don't know. Bob Hope would always walk in and step on people's shows, because pretty much Bob Hope had reached a level of celebrity where Bob Hope could do anything and people would be happy about it. The president's giving a press conference and he walks from the side of the stage and says, "Fuck, man, it's Bob Hope." that would be a great place to be. I don't say people have to have a positive thing. We had that thing for a long time. My band KNUCKLE, and my drummer, my bass player said, we should, the promoters fucking with us, they're taking away our money. We should, it's in Prague, it's a way to go. He goes, we got to go for the very simple reason that the joy of walking into a place where absolutely nobody wants us is gotta be great. And when he articulated it, we were like, fuck yes. We told him we're coming. And we walk into the club and everybody hated us. And it was joyous. It was joyous right up until when? Until we started playing. They were so ready to continue the hatred, and they started loving us. And you would think we would have a Sally Field moment where we would go, oh, they like us, we like us. But because they hadn't liked us originally, we were crystal icy diamond hard in our hatred of them at that point on. As much as you love us now, you could be confirmed in the belief that we fucking hate you. And in odd moments, when you catch a glimmer of me on stage with Oxbow, you understand that Dominic Cruz moment. Where I'm happy to see you, and I don't like you. It's a stirring moment, and not in a positive, good way at all. It is a stirring moment. Anyway, I'm leaving UFC Fight Night 81 in high spirits. Much like the friend of mine who ended up having that foursome, and somehow 3/4 of the way through the foursome, the wife of the other couple was crying. Her husband was crying. You know, his girlfriend was crying. And he sat down and he turned the TV on and smiled a self-satisfied smile of a guy who had done something, accomplished something significant. Round 332, I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Oh, wow. I think we broke a record with viewers, 51. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Now that more people know that I actually, even though the show is a Monday show, I record it live on Sunday nights after the fights. But thanks, everybody. Look what you made me do!